Okay, so good. All right, welcome back live here. This is Inside Radio, and if you are just joining, this is the Pest Experience Show. My name is Shofu Babalola, and live in the studio today we have an amazing guest. But before we go to the guest, all right, today, last week on the Pest Experience Show, we discussed an amazing topic which has to do with pest control operators. Pest control operators. What does it has to do with pest control operators? It has to do with the digital marketing of the pest control marketing of the pest control business. If you are a pest control operator in Nigeria or wherever you are, or wherever state or whatever country that you belong to, and live here, this is the Pest Experience Show. We talked about a lot of things, how you can build your own business in the digital era, and how you can multiply your own gain in the digital era. But today marks another wonderful day on the Pest Experience Show. And we have with me right here in the studio Thomas Costello, right from California. All right, where we talk about heat treatment, how heat treatment works perfectly well, all the way from the Green Tech Heat Solutions. Live here to talk about how it can work perfectly well in terms of treating different pests from bed bugs to cockroaches to termites. I guess you are surprised about how heat treatments can actually work for termites. Live here in the studio, you will hear that from Tomo Castello. Welcome. Thank you very much for honoring our calls to come on live with me here today. I really appreciate you. So
Thank you for
over to
having
you.
me. Thank you for having me. I look forward to answering questions or doing what I
Can't hear
can to
you.
help.
Hello.
Hello? Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can hear you. So,
Hello?
okay. While we stop that, let's just go on a quick break. Hello.
Hello?
Oh, good. Now it's fine. Now it's fine. Can you hear me now?
I hear you perfectly now.
Oh, great. Good. All right. So, welcome live on the Inside Radio.
I'm glad to be here. Pleasure to be here.
Good, good. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, tell us what is the heat treatment? What does it entail? And what's the process like?
Depending on the situation and the insect or whatever medium that you're going after, it's basically just prepping the structure to make sure that heat can penetrate and flow through all the mediums like the furniture, the beds, the things of that nature. And then it entails applying heat to the structure and then using fans or air movers to energize that heat to cause it to move around and to penetrate. And so what the science behind it is heat plus the air component causes convection, which causes everything to absorb the heat at a much better rate.
Wow. So, when we are looking at heat treatment, what are the major pests that are really involved with heat treatment generally? I know there are
Um,
some particular pests that cannot work with heat treatment.
when we first came up with this technology in the 80s, it was strictly for drywood termites and other wood destroying insects. And then over years of study and years of just trial and error and trying it on different pests, we have come to find out that it's very effective across a broad spectrum. cockroaches, bed bugs, marmorated stink bugs. There are so many different. Every living organism has a thermal death point, and what we've done in Green Tech Heat Solutions over the years is we figured out what those are and what those thermal death points are. So heat is a very broad spectrum for a very broad spectrum of things, not just insects, but also odors and biological situations and things that you could not normally get rid of with sprays or other things.
Wow. So basically, initially, like what you said now, it's all started from termite treatment. And that's actually weird
Yes,
because I think right now each treatment works perfectly for bed bugs. So I think the major problem right now is actually the bed bug infestation. So in
right.
cases where we have a lot of bed bug infestation, how would you recommend a bedbug treatment to be done via it? Why? Why would we have to like use it for
Well,
bedbug treatment?
because heat is a broad spectrum of control. What you're going to end up getting is you're going to end up killing the adults. You're going to end up killing any nymphs that may have hatched out. But also, the biggest component of heat when you're dealing with bed bugs is it's ovicidal. It takes care of the eggs. It makes sure that that infestation doesn't continue to carry on because you interrupt the life cycle. You take away those eggs can't hatch. You stop the infestation. That's what makes heat such a stronger medium as far as controlling and remediating bed bugs than sprays or other avenues that people are using, because there's very few things that are going to control the eggs that are going to stop that infestation dead in its tracks. I can't hear you.
Looking at bed bugs now, does sorry, cockroaches, all right,
Uh-huh.
is treatment, is it ovicidal? Can it damage the life cycle of the younger ones?
Yes. And it will also heat will also damage the otheca, which is the actual casing that the cockroach places her eggs in to protect them. The heat will actually destroy
Wow.
those as well. So,
Wow.
much like a bed bug treatment where you're ovicidal, you're killing those egg sacs. The same thing happens on a cockroach treatment. It just takes a little bit higher heat and a little bit longer time, but you'll achieve the same thing. What you'll do is you'll actually kill off those eggs so they're no longer viable, so they can't hatch. You can't that infestation doesn't continue. You stop it.
Wow, wow. Yeah, I really think that there's a lot of value in using each treatment compared to pesticides. What would you say to that in terms of using pesticides and also each treatment? What is your own advice to the two?
Well, I mean, some pesticides are okay. The problem is we get into over application. A lot of people just keep applying and keep applying and keep applying, and then you have environmental
Mhm.
impacts. You have these other things, as opposed to heat, where heat is 100% green. There's no environmental impact at all. You're killing insects strictly by natural occurrence. You're not, interjecting any pesticides or anything that may be problematic to other surfaces or non-target surfaces where children or animals or something may come in contact with. And what you also get with heat that you very rarely get with any chemical is the fact that you're going to not just stop the infestation, you're going to eliminate it. You're going to remediate that infestation. You're going to end it. It's going to be over.
So we have a couple of pest control operators right listening to us right now, and I
Okay.
want you to preach the idea of each treatment, what it entails, the process of doing it,
Okay.
what are the safety precautions to operators and also to homeowners. So I
Okay.
want you to educate us. So I don't have a lot of questions to. I don't want to have a lot of questions to ask you because I
Right.
know definitely a lot of pest control operators would have questions. All right. So if you're
Yeah.
listening to us right now on the radio, all you need to do is go to the chat box and ask your questions. Drop your questions. Tom will be ready to respond to all these questions. And you can also stream live on YouTube and watch us live on YouTube right now. Okay, quick one. All right. So, Mr. Tom, over to you. So, educate us.
Okay.
Tell us what it entails, the process till the end, and what is the process like?
The biggest part of any bed bug or any type of insect infestation is obviously going to be the inspection. You have to really thoroughly inspect that unit, find those hiding places, find those places where they may be problematic to get pesticides or get some other medium in there. The second, of course, is going to be preparation. Preparing the unit to make
Mm.
sure that when we do introduce the heat, that the heat it can be as successful as possible and penetrate as many areas as possible. Now, a lot of times that entails very minimal work. It's making sure the beds are raised up so they're not touching each other, lifting couch cushions, things of that nature, just so the heat can penetrate and get into all those things. And then monitoring your temperatures. What you want to do is be very fervent about monitoring your temperatures in the unit. You want to walk through the unit every hour or so with a heat, either a laser gun or some kind of medium that tests temperatures. And you want to walk through and you want to test those areas to make sure that you're getting up to the lethal temperatures that you need to be successful. And then after the treatment's done, it's basically just putting everything back together, maybe some vacuuming up of some dead bed bugs, and then putting everything back together. So I mean, it's normally a day process. Most bed bug jobs can be done in a normal work day. It's not something you have to
So,
return to. If it's done and done properly, it can be done in a work day.
wow. So all the treatments can be done in one day. No need of follow-ups, no need of checkup
Not
after
not
2 days or after 7 days.
not no sir. Not, if you follow the
Wow.
methodology, if you follow the science and you follow the methodology and you do things the way that Green Tech advises you to do them, and that's what I do. That's my job. I train and I teach everyone how to do this. And if you follow the methodologies that I lay out and you follow the processes that I lay out, then your bedbug job should be one and done over. You should not have to go back and check. The only time I would
Wow.
say that's not the case is if you have a multi-family or multi-unit where there's several different people coming in and out at all times. There's always that risk of someone reintroducing bed bugs. But as far as
Mm.
getting rid of the initial infestation, that can be done within an 8 hour span, 99% of the time.
Wow. But in that case, does this same one-time treatment work for cockroaches also,
Yes, absolutely. If
including
you it's
termites?
again we go back to the only real difference there is the length of time of the treatment's a little bit longer and the temperatures are a bit higher. As far as bed bugs go, the average adult bed bug is going to die around 150 115 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to start killing the eggs at
Oh.
about 130 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you hold that 130 degrees Fahrenheit for about 3 hours, those egg sacs are non-viable. Now, when you get into
Mm.
cockroaches, you're looking at 155 degrees Fahrenheit and about 160 to 165 degrees Fahrenheit to get those egg sacs, but still can be done in the same time frame. It's just an adjustment of temperature more than time.
Okay. So that would be like in how many hours? So you have to
Um,
keep the whole room
if
for how
if you
many
reach the
hours?
one if you reach the 155 to 160 at about 71 minutes, between 71 and 90 minutes, you're going to take care of those cockroach eggs. So about an hour and a half
Wow.
to at the most 2 hours, depending on how heavy the infestation is.
Good. So before you made mention of a point of training and also empowering. I don't know if I got that correctly, but you made mention of a
Right.
point of training operators. So tell me, how is that process like for people that are
Um,
interested in training?
there are so many different avenues that we train. We have actual on-site training where I'll actually fly to the site, or I will show up at the site and I will actually train them live, on the spot. We also have digital training. We also have Zoom training. I mean, we have so many avenues of training. We have training manuals. We have training courses. We have so many different ways to try to ensure that the people that are using our equipment and using the technology are using it properly, safely, and effectively. So that's pretty much the process. And normally I'll show up. we'll have a unit set up that needs to be treated. I will walk through the actual treatment from start to finish. We will cover every aspect of that treatment and what needs to take place.
You been there.
I'm sorry.
Your training, can it be done without the person? Without the person, I mean, you as the trainer being there live. For example, for people
Absolutely.
that need training in
Absolutely.
Nigeria.
Absolutely. We can do it through Zoom. We can do it through WhatsApp. We can do it through so many different other mediums. We have a master heat certification course that's done online where we actually send materials and you take the course, and I mean, so we've pretty much planned for every situation when it comes to training. We can adapt the training to whatever works best for you.
Fantastic, fantastic. I think for pest control operators are listening right here, right now. So all you need to do is just to get the each treatment and get it done, get the equipment effectively, and also use it effectively. So you have Tom as your buddy, you have Tom as your friend to be able to pass you through that process
Yeah.
of getting things done effectively. I've been
I
all
have I
right.
have
So
I have
go
clients
ahead.
all over the world that I talk to on a regular basis, and it's this is what I do, and I enjoy doing it, and I'm committed to
Wow.
making everyone as successful as I possibly can.
Good, good. In fact, I saw some of your post, your write ups on PCT magazine, and that's a very good one. That's a very good one. All
I
right.
appreciate
So
that.
tell us, good. Tell us, when you talk about each treatment in what do you call this, in termite, what does it entail?
Well, first, it's going to entail which type of insect we're dealing with. Are we dealing with Formosan termites, drywood termites? We have to discern what that insect actually is, and then that's going to dictate the way we go about it. So, say it's drywood termites, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to direct that heat because those infestations are normally localized. They're normally in one spot. They're pretty much localized. And so what we're going to want to do there is we're going to want to concentrate that heat in that localized area to kill all the activity in the caverns and get rid of all live foraging damaging drywood termites. But by also doing that, you affect any secondary colonies because you've taken away the workers and the people who actually maintain and sustain the colony.
The type of termite.
What's that? I'm sorry.
I said the first treatment is to first identify the type of termite if you are
Well, you
looking at
have
the
to get
process.
when dealing with any, in order to do any heat treatment properly, you need to identify what you're going after because there's such a broad spectrum of temperatures and times and things like that. And so it's very critical that when you perform a heat treatment, you know exactly what you're going after, whether it's drywood termites, whether it's cockroaches, whether it's bed bugs, whether it's marmorated stink bugs, whether it's fleas, whether it's whatever that medium may be. It's highly important to understand and get a grasp of what that is because that's going to 100% determine and dictate how you go about treatment.
But for cases like just a newbie in the industry that don't even understand the type of the pest,
Okay.
what are your recommendations to educating that kind of person? Is
I,
there a resource center on Green Tech?
we have several resources. We have our training manuals, but there's also National Pest Management Association, the NPMA. They have a very, very good website as far as identification. It walks you through the different insects, how they look, what their habits are, things like that. There's a lot of really good information out there. Our training manual also is very in depth with biology and things like that of the bed bugs, but also habits and different ways to determine whether it's a severe, non-severe, or just a infestation where someone has introduced them, and we're at the beginning of it, and we're able to get on top of it pretty quickly. So yeah, to answer, I guess a long answer to a short question is yes, we have a lot of resources to help you with that.
Fantastic, fantastic. So now, when you are looking at this technology, all right, I
Mhm.
discovered that there are a lot of tools, there are a lot of each treatment, thermal each treatment. Can you walk me through the process of all these equipment? I know we have like propane, then we have
Oh yeah,
other types. So what are
we
the
have.
list of types?
You're going to start mostly in your smaller units like your hotel rooms, things like that. Those are majority of those are going to be electric heaters, and those heaters are what we call a closed system. What that means is that heater, when you set that heater in the room, the only way that heater gets hot is by recirculating its own air. So in those cases, you have to seal windows, you have to cover and seal windows, you have to cover any heat losses, any air conditioning returns, anything where heat can escape or air can infiltrate the room. Those have to be addressed because those will definitely dictate how effective those heaters are going to be. And we have electric heaters that will do from 400 square feet up to 1,400 square feet. And that's 100% dependent on the kind of power sources you have. You know, we can tailor a heat system to whatever situation you're in. I mean, if you have 230 power with special cords, I can have those built. Any situation that you have electrically, I can adapt a system to work. Now, when you step up to the propane systems, they're more of an open system. What that means is they are a closed controlled burner that actually produces large amounts of BTUs. Like my smaller 450 Titan, that puts out 500,000 BTUs. That is enough BTU load to heat and eradicate about an 1,800 square foot house. Now, the Titan 800 is 995,000 BTUs. That heater is more designed for your larger structures, you know, your maybe your library or your, 3,500 square foot house, or, your larger structures. And those are strictly powered by propane, and you have one cord for the fan. They have a 5,000 CFM fan built in so that they're able to energize that heat before it leaves the barrel. So you're not just heating the room, you're actually energizing that air. So when those molecules exit that barrel, they're already energized, they're already ready to go to work, they're already ready to start doing what they're designed to do, and that's kill and eradicate bed bugs, cockroaches, whatever it is we may be going after.
Great, great. So now all these equipments, what are the other things that are required for all these equipment to work perfectly well? I know electricity is much more important. What else?
Right.
What else does the operator needs to consider when getting an equipment like this?
Availability of propane. That's a biggie, especially in other countries. We've run into an issue of availability of propane. Of course, understanding your power and knowing exactly what your power is. Is it 230? Is it 220? Is it, whatever that power source is, understanding what it is, because that's going to be integral to us putting together something that'll work for you. The fan, fans are, one of the greatest tools you're going to be able to use. Air movers are one of the greatest tools you'll ever use in a heat treatment, because what they do is they keep that heat moving in a positive direction, but not just that. They keep that heat energized. They keep it active so that it's constantly working and it's constantly killing as it's climbing in temperature.
This is like Nigeria. I really don't know about the information yet, but that's what I can't say. But I
Okay.
think we would have issues with propane. All right. So, but in cases where we have issues with getting propane, what is Green Tech going to do for a machine like that? Because I think a machine would definitely do well when it comes to doing a very good job for a pest control company without pesticides and all. So it wipes all the whole infestation in an whole apartment. So it makes the work quite more easier for every operator. But the challenge now is the propane and also the
Well,
lights.
I
Right?
can say I have other clients in Nigeria, in West Africa, who have been able to procure propane, who haven't really had the issue in procuring propane. So I don't think it's going to be a huge challenge in Nigeria or in that region to to acquire propane, because like I said, I have other clients that are using our equipment in in that region that we're able to acquire propane.
Fantastic, fantastic. That's very good to hear. So it gives us the courage to get this equipment. So
Correct.
now, when we want to get this equipment, all right. So the best way to get this equipment is to reach out to Inside Radio. All right, right. Can they reach out to us to get the equipment?
Yeah, I mean, we can set it up any, I mean, we can go through Insight. We can certainly partner with you guys, and you can, you can let us know what your needs are, and we can make those, we can make those things happen. Um,
Good, good,
Contacting
good,
us
good, good,
directly
good.
is also another avenue. But I think probably in your situation, if your clients were to contact you and you were to contact me and say, hey, we're looking into maybe this equipment, then you and I would work together on getting them the proper packages that they need.
Fantastic, fantastic. So now, if you want to get the equipment, if you want to get the thermal pest control, you get it done eco-friendly. You get it done effectively without using a lot of pesticides. All right. So it's very much easy to use right now. All you need to do is go to the contact button on the Inside Radio and send us a message and tell us that you need this product, and let the order keep rolling in so you can get it effectively and get your job done wisely. All right, so this is still the Pest Experience Show, and if you are just listening, this is the time. This is the segment where pest control operators join to pest control operators to talk about different solutions and also major solutions to different pests. All right, so now this is Inside Radio, so we'll be going on a quick break.
Orúkọ mi ni Mrs. Ọmọṣẹ́yìn Ọmọtọ́lá. Ẹ máa gbọ́ Insight Radio. Stay tuned. God bless you.
Hello, my country people. Now welcome. I just want to say, make una dey listen to Insight Radio. Make you dey connected. Actually, you fit log with this link onto the website on www.insightradio.net. Make una no miss am o. Na your girl. Thank you.
All right. Welcome back live here on Inside Radio. So, if you are just joining, this is the Pest Experience Show. This is the segment where pest control operators connect to pest control operators. This is the segment where we educate pest control operators about latest tools, latest operative equipment, and also strategies of how you can sell. When we talk about the marketing, when we talk about the sales, when we talk about leadership, and also empowering your own staffs. All right. So this is the radio station of Insight dedicated to the pest control industry. And right now we have Mr. Tom Costello, all the way from Green Tech Solution, to educate us about the each treatment, how we can use thermal pest control to get all the right pests out of your own or your own client's apartment effectively, efficiently. So name it. He has said cockroaches can be get rid of with thermal. Termites can be get rid of with thermal. Termites, thermal. Makes sense, right? All right. So quick one. So also roaches can also be getting rid of with just that same thermal treatment. It's a long thing, and I tell you, And there is also an opportunity for you to also learn and get trained by seasoned experts. If I'm going to ask Tom, if I'm going to ask you, for how many years have you been in the industry of dealing with all this pest with Tamal?
It will be 39 years coming
My
up soon.
goodness. You
Coming
see
up
the
soon.
emphasis.
I had the privilege of growing up in the business. My father owned a pest control company. I've been in the business for almost 39 years now.
My goodness, my goodness. So if anybody is learning from you, the person is learning from a seasoned expert. All right. So it's not beans. So it's a very good journey. It's super, super, super fantastic. So I'm very, very sure operators that are actually connected with us live here, both on YouTube and also on the radio. The chat box is open for your question. This is the segment where you ask questions. So just go straight down to the chat box and drop your questions for Mr. Tom. All right. So if you have any question about e-treatments and getting rid of any pest or anything, just drop it in the comment section. The comment section is literally open for you to drop your own comments and let's hear what you are saying or what you are thinking about using each treatment to get rid of those pests in your own client's apartment. Okay, while we wait for questions to roll in from the chat box and also from the websites and also from YouTube, I would want you to educate us more. What are things that we need to know for 39 good years in the industry? Tell us something that the pest controller needs to take home.
As far as take home as in knowledge or take home as in, I mean,
Yes, as in knowledge.
just understanding what you're dealing with, understanding what's important, and understanding focus and knowing what exactly it is that your client needs from you, but also what you need from your client. It has to be an open, there has to be an open level of conversation there. There has to be open channels of communication because you guys are going to have to, clients and operators are going to have to work together in order to solve these issues and solve them, properly and to everyone's satisfaction. So the one thing I would say is, if anything in any of this is key, it's communication. Communication is always key. Always be able to, articulate to your clients, what your needs are from them, but also be able to articulate what they're, be able to answer and address what their expectations are of you. And I believe that is probably the biggest tool in anyone's tool bag if you're going to be in the pest control business or you're going to be in pest control operations, is to be able to actively and effectively communicate with your clients.
Good, good, good. That's a very good point because I really, as a pest control operator, the first thing I take sincerely and I take very much serious is communicating effectively with my clients. So now, when you are talking about communications to the client and getting them to understand what really entails about this e treatment, I'm very, very certain that this e treatment also have health hazards. All right. It also has health hazards to the occupants of the apartment. So, how would you communicate to each and every occupant of the apartment before and after treatment? What are your recommendations to them?
Well, my recommendations are going to be just, once the unit's prepared, the treatment starts, not to re-enter the structure until the designated time that either the operator has informed you. Normally after we're done with the treatment, we're going to say, do not enter the structure for this period of time, or whatever that time frame is that we feel is safe and we feel is the right amount of time. And so that, that again goes back to the communication. You have to articulate to your clients, hey, it's going to be extremely hot in this unit. It's going to be very uncomfortable. It would be best for you to try to stay out of, the unit as long as you possibly can. We're going to give you, an hour. Normally we give you an hour set, maybe 4, 5, 8 hours, whatever that number is. But then again, it comes down to just common sense. If you come back in the unit and it's really, really hot, you shouldn't stay there. I mean, that's and again, that comes down to communication.
Okay, okay. So do you have like a document that you assign to your client? And can anyone getting this equipment also get the document or a manual if it's available, like a
Yes.
checklist? Yeah.
Yes. Well, I mean, our technical manuals are readily available when equipment is purchased. Also, we do have just basic copies of, preparation sheets, other things that are, integral to doing a heat treatment. A lot of those things we have just, boilerplate copies of in the training manual, but we also, I also have some in my, in my files and things like that. So again, it's one of those things where, we're partnered with you. We're not just selling you equipment. We're not just, giving you a heater, training you and saying, and hoping for the best. That's not how we do things. We want to partner with you. We want to do everything we can do to make sure that what you're doing is safe, effective, and it works, for everybody. And that's our number one goal is to the reason solutions is in our name is because that's what we believe. We want to solve these issues. We want to help you and partner with you to make these solutions happen.
Fantastic. We have pest control operators joining us live here on YouTube. The chat box is literally open. I know you have a couple of questions to ask. Okay, so we have a comment from Pest Prof, and he said that interesting. I'm watching on Plaska screen. So that's a very good one. So your chat box on YouTube is open, and also the live chat on the website is open for you to join in live and also ask your questions. So it has been a fantastic journey from you, Mr. Tom. Thank you very much for sharing the knowledge. And the most
Thank you for
important
having
thing
me.
that I got from this,
Thank
thank
you for
you.
having
So the
us.
most important thing that I got from this is proper communication with the client. Um, so proper communication with the client and also effective solution. Profs also said that what you are saying is about here is serious eat solution. No, what's your think? So it's actually laying the emphasis on the fact that you are talking more about each solution, providing more solution on pest control. That's a very good comment from you, Mr. Prof. Thank you very much for joining. Uh, it's it's been a wonderful journey, to be honest, and inspection first. Inspection is key when you are finding an effective solution. And when you talk about inspection, you need to first look at the proper identification of the pest. Nobody can take that away from a pest control operator. So if you're a pest control operator, the first thing you need to first do is communicate. And from the communication, you understand the type of the pest. I mean, I'm going to share just a limelight on my own experience because this is a pest experience show. I got a job from a client, and it's actually like ants treatment. I don't know if its treatment works with ants. Tell me quickly.
Yes, it'll work with any like I said before, any insect has thermal death points. You can use heat for any
Wow,
medium.
wow.
I
So
mean,
that
with
means
ant,
if I'm getting, yeah, go ahead.
it depends on the ant. A lot of cases, other ants that have multiple queens, like Argentine ants and and Pharaoh ants and
Yeah,
some of these other ants that are multiple queen ants. You're gonna, there's also going to be other steps that need to be taken. There may be baits or there may be other things that you may use to supplement the heat. But
good.
heat will definitely eradicate them from the structure itself.
Good. So now in treatment with heat, I'm still going to come back to my own experience in the next few minutes. But in treatment with heat, do you also recommend the use of pesticides when you are using heat treatment live on site?
That's yes, there are situations where maybe non-lethal heat with lethal dust, or maybe partnering with something like Green Tech Prevent, or some of these other products where you can actually apply them after you've heated, because you may not have been able to actually get heat up to every possible structure. But what you've done is you've caused those insects to be heat stressed. They've already been affected by the heat. Now they're more susceptible to whatever else you've put down. what you end up there is you end up with non-lethal heat with lethal dust or non-lethal heat with another lethal product. But again, a lot of
Mm.
those products can be green products, Ecovia, Green Tech Prevent. There's so many green products now that can be used so effectively in conjunction with heat.
Good, good. Quick one. I got a comment from the Pest Prof, and he said this product might nearly be impossible in this part. And that struck my mind on a particular um, client is that when you are looking at multi-unit housing, and I think that's the most common housing in Nigeria, because in a house now you can be a tenant and also have a landlord in that house, then you have like over like 5 people in that same apartment. All right,
Okay.
so we have like 5 people in that same apartment. So what is your own recommendation to a multi-unit facility?
If it's connected structures, in other words, if you have two units that are connected back to back, wall to wall, however those are constructed, a lot of times what we'll do is we will with a propane machine, we can most of the time we can heat both of those structures at one time. We can put a Y connection adapter on the front of the machine, and we can actually treat multiple units at one time. The Again, going back to a lot of people living in one unit, it comes down to being able to say, hey, there's a lot of clutter, a lot of things stored, whatever that situation is. That comes back to being able to just pull everybody together and say, hey, we're going to work together with you to get rid of these things, to help you with this infestation. But this is what you're going to need to do to help us. And so, again, I keep going back to communication because I've seen so many jobs fail and so many jobs not be as successful because everyone didn't understand what was happening and how things were going to go and how how those processes were going to take place.
Fantastic, fantastic. I think it boils down to like what you said, communication. So
Yeah, you
proper
have to be able to talk.
communication is key. Good. So we have a question from Mr. Chinedu Onyabo Onibio or Mr. Chinedu. He said, please, prior to application of the heat, thermal control, how can an applicator avoid explosion? That's a very good, fantastic question.
It is a
Of
great question.
combustible, the very, very good question of materials since it seems to be higher in residentials. How can we avoid explosions? That's a
Well,
very good question.
what that normally refers to is going to be your aerosol cans and things like that. That your cleaners, your aerosol cans, things that may be higher in flammable, materials that in their composition. And a lot of that is on the prep sheets, and a lot of that is on your preparation sheets, to where those things need to be removed from the structure. They need to be secured, obviously outside of the structure. And again, that goes back to our training manual, some preparation copy sheets that I have that have different ways of, and these are things you give to the client. These are things that you say, hey, here's a list of things I need you to do. And it actually highlights, those specific things that need to be removed from the structure before heat can be introduced.
Good. I think it boils down to having a checklist or a
Yes.
manual that's been sent to the client prior to the treatment. So I hope Mr. Chinedu question has been answered effectively.
The,
Uh,
the other thing I would add really quick on that is it's always incumbent on the technician to not totally depend on the client to do these things, to do a walkthrough of that unit before you start to apply the heat. Take that minute or two and walk through and make sure that all those things that should have been addressed are indeed addressed. It's real easy to show up on a job and take the client's word for it, and and just say, hey, they've done it, let's do the treatment. But it's always better to take that extra 2 or 3 minutes and just walk that structure and make sure that it is indeed ready to be treated.
Good. Thank you very much. Thank you. I got a question of Is it practicable? Is it practical? Is it possible to use this equipment here in Nigeria? And I guess you've answered that question of a lot of companies actually using the product already in
Absolutely. I
Nigeria.
have clients all through, your area that are using our heat, and they're using it very successfully.
Fantastic. I know about 3 or 4 companies that are actually using this product here in Nigeria. So it's very very possible. It's extremely possible. So okay, so we have another question again from Mr. Chinedu. He said, in terms of safety or personal protective equipment, oh my goodness, I love these questions. All right. He said, what is the best PPE to be used in this kind of product with this
Well,
kind
the
of
one,
equipment?
well, one thing I would tell you is I'm not sure it falls under personal protective, but I think it does if you're doing a heat treatment is hydration. Just making sure you're hydrated. Plan your trips going in and out. There's no per se, personal protective. We're not talking goggles or gloves or anything like that. Most of the personal protective is, you know, understand that you're going into a structure that's under an immense amount of heat. So get in, do what you need to do, get out as soon as you possibly can. Try not to linger, try not to stay around, inside the unit, because this is a different kind of heat. It's a desiccant heat. Sometimes you don't realize you're as hot as you are until it's too late. And so it's best to always have a plan when you go in and always stay hydrated. The biggest tool in your PPA toolbox should be water or Gatorade or something like that, so you stay, very hydrated.
Fantastic. So water is the key requirement when you are dealing with when you're using e-treatments in the control of different pests. That's a very good
Hydration is
one.
critical. Hydration is critical.
Good. So how do you now determine the level of heat in that facility? Is there a computerized system? Does it come with that equipment?
We have several different ways of monitoring the heat. We have handheld lasers that check your surfaces. We have wired probes that you actually put in different locations in the structure, and they have a board that a reader that you plug them into. I'm sorry, you have a reader that you plug them into, and it tells you the different temperatures in the different areas of the unit. We also have wireless probes where you place the probe inside the unit. You're able to check it on your cell phone, on your laptop. You're able to, remotely check those temperatures, without ever having to really go in or anything like that. But I always suggest going in with some kind of handheld, either laser thermometer or a thermal imaging gun or something like that, so you can get a real time thumbprint of what actually is going on and what surfaces are taking the heat and what surfaces you need to focus on.
All right, and this is the segment, like I said, where operators get to know latest equipment, latest strategy, the effective and the most effective solutions to their pest control strategies and what we do and how they do it. All right, so this is the Pest Experience Show, and if you're just joining for the first time, this is where operators connect with other operators. This is where experience is learned. This is where people and experts, seasoned experts all over the world come together to learn and also educate each another about different things. Okay, quick one. So we got another comment again from Mr. Chinedu. He said, also, will the EAT application be best targeted, for instance, using a steam on beds with bed bugs? I don't
Um,
think I understand. Yeah, okay, good.
what you're going to get with using thermal technology as opposed to, say, steam. Steam is one of those things where you have to come in direct contact with the insect. You have to really, get into those cracks and get into places where you can actually get the steam on the insect, as opposed to thermal remediation where you're getting heat on everything. So, there's not a chance of you missing a crack, or there's not a chance of you, blowing heat into the crack and blowing the heat bed bugs literally out of that area into another. It's just thermal remediation is a more overall treatment of every possible material in that unit, as opposed to trying to target and hit those bed bugs directly with like steam or cryogenics or some, or another medium as such as those.
Great. Right now, we just have just 9 more minutes to go out of this session. All right. So if you are just joining again, or if you have more questions, the chat box are really, really open to learn and also to ask your own questions. All right. This is the segment. This is the PEX Experience Show. All right. So we just have a few more minutes before we go off air. So quick one, if you want to get the equipment, if you want to get the each treatment, the each propane thermal equipment, you can always reach out to Inside Radio, or you can call 09017827767 09017827767. If you have any question or if you want to call us live on the radio right now, you can call 09017827767 for sponsorship and partnership requests for anything that you need that has to do with pest control, or you can also place your adverts. So we can place your adverts right here, right now. So on a quick one, we'll be going on a quick break right here.
Orúkọ mi ni Mrs. Ọmọṣẹ́yìn Ọmọtọ́lá. Ẹ máa gbọ́ Insight Radio. Stay tuned. God bless you.
Hello, my country people. Now welcome. I just want to say, make una dey listen to Insight Radio. Make you dey connected. Actually, you feel log with this link onto the website on www.insightradio.net. Make una no miss am o. Na your girl. Thank you.
Okay, welcome back right here on Inside Radio. Okay, so I think we have one more one more question, and it says, at what specific temperature is considered most appropriate, having in mind that extreme heat can cause discoloration or change of shape of some items? At what temperature?
That's a very good question. If bed bugs in general, you're looking at, like I said before, 115 or so, you're killing the adults. When you get up into the 135, 140, you're starting to, 125. The theory is lower temperature, longer treatment time. So if you're down in the 120s, 125s, you're going to extend your treatment time 2 or 3 hours. If you're up in the 135, 140 range, you're looking at getting those eggs, at a much quicker rate. And in my experience of over 11,000 treatments, I've never really had any major damage happening to any surfaces or any furniture or anything like that. I mean, the occasional mini blind, the occasional, stick on floor tile that wasn't put on properly, you may run into those things. But as far as like major systems or major components, I haven't really had an experience in really damaging any of those things. And like I said, I've been involved in over 11,000 treatments.
Oh, good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us live here on Inside Radio. I mean, it has been a fantastic journey so far, and we have this is the end of the show. Thank you
Okay.
very much. So we just have us 5 more minutes to go. So if there's anything you want to say to just to close up the whole discussion so far, then you can go ahead. Then we're done. Thank you.
What I would say is, we are a resource. We're going to help you any way that we can to be successful. We want to partner with you guys to try to, whatever issues you're having. I'm not totally aware of the veracity of the infestations that you have there, but we are here as a resource to not only help you eradicate, those infestations, but to also educate you, help you get better overall at what you're doing and make you much more effective as a PCO and as an operator. So just understand that we are here for you. We will do what we can to help you. We will partner with you any way we can to help you be successful.
All right, so you've had it all. You've had it all. You've had it all. So if you need more information, you can reach out to us live on Inside Radio for sponsorship, partnership, and also advert placements. You can reach out at 09017827767 Inside Radio, info at insideradio.net. And for continuous education and also insights, you can stay tuned and keep that time 7 to 8 p.m. West African time and 2 to 3 p.m. East African time to be able to learn more from seasoned experts all over the world, whatever state, whatever city, whatever country that you are joining us from. This is Inside. And I leave you on the hands of Bona Boy.
I wanna be in your life until the night is over. I wanna hold you so tight, coming closer. It's been a hell of a ride, but every single moment you were there by my side. Whenever I'm broken, you make me feel whole.